Just like the street lights lit this town, like a fire in a blaze, gotta burn it down. Can't be afraid to leave this out. We got this far, don't know how. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up. Just like a spark that's breaking out. Can't make a stop, can't turn back now. We know that there's no room for doubt. No, we can't turn back now. I see danger in your eyes. They know we'll burn down the night. Coming just like the sunrise. You know that we gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up tonight. We gonna light it up just like the sunrise. We gonna light it up.
Hey everybody, I forgot to put myself on stream. No, Lori, I still didn't call the gastroenterologist. I need to because I'm so sick right now, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm here for you guys, so let's go. I want to talk about this first. Well, if you don't know what Around the World is, it's just stuff from around the world. That's not high profile cases, just normal stuff that we don't hear about on YouTube because it doesn't bring views and money. So I will bring it to you. Let's see. Okay. So this is FedEx fires black driver who said he was attacked by two white men. I usually don't hold on one second. Let me send somebody a link to. I usually don't do racist stuff. Only because I get really heated with it. I grew up around New Orleans, so I don't deal with all that. But I never saw what this was about, and so I wanted to see what it was about. So let me see what this will be. And it says, I guess like they went to court and stuff and for murder. I mean, a shooting trial. Okay, let's see.
In Mississippi declared a mistrial today in the case against two white men accused of chasing and shooting at a black FedEx driver. The judge said he had no choice because of a police detective's improper testimony and failure to share evidence. The father and son are charged with attempted murder. The FedEx driver was not hurt. No word yet on when the retrial will begin.
Oh, wow.
A judge in Mississippi declared.
Oh, wow. A FedEx delivery driver who said 2 white men shot at him and chased him in Mississippi in 2022 has now been fired from his job. He and his attorney said Monday. I honestly feel disrespected, the former driver, Demontario Gibson, 25, told the Associated Press shortly after he received an email from FedEx about his termination. Meredith Miller, manager of Global Network Communications for FedEx, confirmed Monday that Mr. Gibson is no longer employed at FedEx, but did not respond to other questions from AP. A Mississippi judge on August 17th cited police errors in declaring a mistrial for the father and son charged in the attack. A detective testified about failing to give prosecutors and defense attorneys a copy of a videotaped police interview with Gibson. I fear something like this is going to happen in Idaho for Idaho 4. I don't know, it's crazy. Carlos Moore, an attorney who has represented Gibson in a civil lawsuit, provided AP with a copy of an email Gibson received from FedEx on Monday. It said Gibson's employment was terminated July 26th, and the company attempted to deliver a letter and documents to him about the termination July 31st. FedEx fired Gibson because he did not accept a part-time non-courier job that the company offered in mid-July. Moore said, adding that he did not know whether the company gave Gibson a deadline to accept. They can't tell me when I should be ready to come back, Gibson said. He got fired because he didn't want to take a part-time non-courier job. That must have been after the shooting. I hope I turned my volume down. Hi, Nelson. Thanks for coming in, honey. I'm glad to see you. Let me send the link to somebody real quick, please. All right. I'm sorry, y'all, if I take a few breaks. I really don't feel good. So, workers' comp therapy, trouble sleeping. Gibson said he has been on workers' compensation leave at about 1/3 of his pay since shortly after he reported the attack to police in Brookhaven, Mississippi on the night it allegedly happened, January 24th, 2022. Gibson was not injured in the shooting or chase, but said Monday that he has been in therapy to deal with anxiety because of it. He said he still has trouble sleeping. I would too. That's scary. Brandon Case and his father, Gregory Case, are charged with attempted first-degree murder, conspiracy, and shooting into the vehicle driven by Gibson. Prosecutors said they intend to schedule a new trial for the 2 men who remain out on bond. Attempted first-degree murder and they're out on bond. And the victim is alive, living his life. And these 2 people that tried to kill him are out on bond. A court official said the judge's docket is full through December. That's a damn shame. Dang, man. Y'all hit that like button for me, please. I'm like I would really appreciate it. Um, Moore said Gibson had done nothing wrong before two white men tried to stop him, with one of the men holding a gun. I want to see a video. I mean, open a new tab. I'm just looking at this other article, you guys, to see. I think it's a video. Let's check it out. Now they always start in
To the highest thousands for
Hey, Christy, how are you? Okay.
a case against two white men accused of chasing and shooting at a black FedEx driver. The judge said he had no choice because of a police detective's improper.
We already read that. I mean, saw that. Okay, let's see. See, Christy, drama has a whole lot more viewers than true crime, but it's okay. I love my people. Lord, y'all, Penelope, somebody's here or something. Oh, shit. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Thank you. I'm having issues with my stomach since I've been losing weight with that new medicine. I'm down to 155 pounds. Okay. Let me make sure I put it back on screen. Moore said Gibson had done nothing wrong before two white men tried to stop him. He was simply black while working, Moore said during a news conference in 2022. Gibson had said he was told by his superiors to run the same route the day after the chase. Are you kidding? The following day, we had to go file a police report, and as soon as I was done filing a police report, they put me back on the same route. I did that for like a day or two until I started having really bad anxiety attacks. I just couldn't do it anymore. I asked them for some time off, which I do have, but it's unpaid, said Gibson at the time. Wow. I know. Yeah, it's crazy. So, the dude got shot at, right? Don't just take the color out of it. The FedEx driver got shot at by two people. And then FedEx expected him to go drive the same route the next day, like nothing ever happened. I'm sure this dude got PTSD and probably the route triggers him. I know here in Tucson, when I passed the place I lived with my ex in that area, it triggers me. So, no doubt this man has trouble sleeping, is having anxiety. And with the two people being out, he's probably scared for his freaking life now. I mean, they're facing first degree attempted murder and conspiracy. Bye bye. And they're out on bond. I have to look up. I don't know anything about this case or what happened, but this is insane. Although nobody was injured, but he was injured. He might not have been injured physically, but this man was injured mentally and emotionally. You cannot say he was not injured. The alleged incident has sparked social media complaints of racism in Brookhaven, about 55 miles south of the state capital of Jackson. I'm going to ask you, please be respectful. If you comment or if you put in chat, just please be respectful. I'm bringing this because it's news not to have a war over a race. I'm not having a race war. That's not happening. Gibson reported that the encounter happened as he was making FedEx deliveries in a van with the Hertz logo on 3 sides. So he didn't even know that he was driving for FedEx. After he dropped off a package at a home on a dead-end public road, Gregory Case, then 58, used a pickup truck to try to block the van from leaving. And his son, Brandon Case, 35 at the time, came outside with a gun. Why? As Gibson drove the van around the pickup truck, shots were fired, with 3 rounds hitting the delivery van and some of the packages inside. Gregory Case saw a rental van with a Florida license plate outside his mother-in-law's unoccupied home after dark, defense attorney Terrell Stubbs told jurors. The elder Case was just going to ask the van driver what was going on, but the driver did not stop. He didn't stop. I thought he just blocked him into where he couldn't leave. How did he not stop? Here we go with some more information. Grand jury. Brookhaven police complacent. On August 10th, a federal judge dismissed Gibson's federal lawsuit seeking $5 million from FedEx, writing that the lawsuit failed to prove the company discriminated against him because of his race. That litigation also named the city of Brookhaven, the police chief, and the cases. Moore said he plans to file a new civil suit in state court seeking $10 million. His $5 million got dismissed. Now he's going for $10 million. Do your thing, man. Do your thing. A grand jury issued a report last month saying that Brookhaven Police Department officers poorly investigate their cases. The grand jury, made up of local residents, considered more than 60 criminal cases and wrote that the department is complacent, does not complete investigations in a timely manner, shows a lack of professionalism, and has a habit of witness blaming. That's crazy. That dude needs to win a lawsuit. For real. I don't care. Again, whatever color he is, I don't care. He is scarred. He might not be able to ever drive again. I'm not talking about for FedEx. I'm talking about for a personal vehicle. Okay, Chrissy. It's 4:00 here. I don't know. I'm not going to be live long because I only have a few articles. So that's crazy. And then, now that we're on the subject with the cops, this has pissed me off to no end, this story right here. I cannot believe this. I'm just so hurt that this happened. 4 cops were caught on video laughing after a disabled veteran urinated on himself after being denied restroom access. Some people might not seem like much, but to me and other people, especially disabled, that veteran did a lot. That veteran fought for you to say what you wanted to say in that First Amendment you always want to holler about.
What do you guys call making that one called somebody climbed out one of they pissed themselves with that
You guys made a guy pee himself?
Yeah.
You guys wouldn't let him use the restroom, and then he calls back and said it's okay, he doesn't need my pee anymore because he soiled.
Do they forget that they wear body cameras? I just don't get that. I don't get it at all. Hey, what happened? Okay, there we go. Then this one, guys, holy guacamole, this story right here, when I first read it, I didn't read the whole thing, of course. But I don't know. And I believe this did happen during the, whenever the virus first came out, when the pandemic first started. A mom's life sentence for giving her baby cow's milk ripped her family apart. Setting her free will allow it to heal soon. This means we can have a mom again, John Woods, a U.S. Air Force senior airman, says. The son of a mom who was sentenced to life in prison after feeding her infant cow's milk amid the chaos of Hurricane Katrina, said the Louisiana Pardon Board. I didn't even know this was in Louisiana. I thought it was during the pandemic. Hold on one moment, you guys. She don't know what she wants. Come on, hurry up. Come on. Are you getting up here or not? Penelope Jane. Thank you. Okay. So Louisiana Pardon Board's recommendation to release her could finally allow the family to heal. Najon Woods, 25, was just 9 years old when his mother, Tiffany Woods, was sentenced for second-degree murder and the malnutrition death of Najon's 5-month-old brother, Emmanuel. Tiffany's arrest ripped her family apart, Najon says. He and his surviving 3 siblings were left to bounce between foster homes and relatives for years. There were many difficulties growing up without her, moving from home to home as a child, with people who were not always caring or loving. Najon, who is now a senior airman stationed at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska, tells the Messenger. I know you'll never see this, but thank you for your service. He adds that the family never again lived together under the same roof and often couldn't even speak with each other, all because of the opinion of some people we were forced to live with. All this took a toll in some ways. It's affecting me today. Aw, and this is him and his brother, I guess right before they were taken away. The final decision to commute Tiffany Woods' sentence now rests with Governor John Bel Edwards, who leaves office in January. I can't wait. Sorry, I cannot wait for this man to leave office, pardon this woman before January, and then leave Louisiana. How about that? Thank you. Oh, I can't stand this man. Sorry. I wanted, and thank God that he cannot run again. Like, just move out of Louisiana. Thank you. I want to thank him for the consideration. For the first time in a very long time, we have hope, which is a huge deal for myself and my siblings. Edwards' office did not immediately return a request for comment. Hey, Avery. Little Emmanuel was born prematurely and had been in intensive care shortly before Hurricane Katrina struck in 2005. So, was she like given the milk straight from the cow? Like, I don't get it. I thought milk out the store was cow milk. When I was a baby, I had to drink goat's milk. Like, what's the deal? Can someone please tell me? Tiffany Woods told the parole board Monday that she made poor choices and mistakes while suffering depression and stress during the evacuation, including giving the sickly infant cow's milk when he wouldn't take infant formula. Oh, are babies not supposed to have cow milk, only formula? Remember, I don't have a kid. She was 25 at the time, and the baby's father, who was also given a life sentence, was 18. At that stage in my life, I was a young mother who was trying to take care of her children the best she could. And I made some terrible decisions. But the woman who sits before you today, I'm not that same person, she said. Najan called in to speak on his mother's behalf, telling the board she had done her best to look after them even while incarcerated. And this, I'm assuming, is her in blue. I wonder when he has to make a decision. See, August 14th was the hearing. His mother sent him handmade birthday presents and made sure they had frequent phone check ins to help him through the stresses of college. She's a mother, and she wants to be a mother, and she's learned from her mistakes, he told the board, which eventually voted that she should be released. Arguing against clemency was prosecutor Suzanne Ellis, who said Woods never accepted responsibility for her baby's death until Monday's hearing. Please do not give her an opportunity at release. Do not give her an opportunity to harm another child, because I am convinced that if she can, she will. If his mother's sentence is commuted by the governor, the family will finally be able to move forward, Najan says. For me, as well as for my brothers and sisters, this means we can have a mom again, he says. Most of all, this means healing. A mother's love is more important than what most people may realize. And on the left is the mom, and he is a little cutie patootie. On the right is her son. He's in the Air Force. Woods also believes his mother's life sentence is emblematic of a larger system. Hold on a second. Just got nauseated. Louisiana law has a broad definition of second-degree murder that includes some accidental deaths. Despite the many circumstances that can produce a second-degree murder conviction, the sentence is always mandatory life without parole, with almost no judicial discretion. I believe that the criminal justice system and the child protective system is flawed across the board for many people in this country, especially Louisiana. I also believe that the system will not change until those in power have upright character, wisdom, integrity, love, compassion, and are grounded in fairness and a commitment to treating all people equally. That's an awesome little statement. I love that, guys. I hope she gets released soon. Hey, Betty Joe. But do you give infants milk instead of formula? Because, but if you don't have formula and you have an infant, can you give it milk? No? Okay, that's how the baby died then. Thank you. I didn't know that. So, like, how old does the baby have to be before it can get regular milk? You know why, Avery? Because when you start, and this happens to me all the time, when you start to feel better, you're like, hey, I'm feeling better. Let me go do this and this that couldn't do when I didn't feel good. And you're just, you know, reheating yourself up and then you don't feel good. 9 months, sometimes a year. Oh, I think they said 3 months or 5 months. Oh, I didn't know that. Well, then, if I had to have goat's milk as a baby, I might have to ask my mom how that worked back then. I don't know. All right, let's go with the next one. Hey, do y'all know who Lucy Letby is? But you know what, guys? Should she really get charged with murder? Because, like, it was during freaking Katrina. No, like, nothing was open. Like, that was, I don't know. I don't get it. You need to sweat. You need to sweat that fever out. How many likes do I have, guys? You just need to stay in bed for the rest of your 2 days left of your 5-day quarantine. Just stay in bed and don't overexert yourself. Don't do anything. See, with my heart right now, I overexert myself just sitting here reading this to you guys. So if you hear me take a deep breath or just stop, that's why. Maybe your pediatrician put you on goat's milk because you couldn't drink formula. So goat's milk can be replaced. Oh, Avery, you have not been in bed that long. I should make you come up here on panel with me since you have 6 likes. That's good. I have 6 people in here. Avery, come up on panel. Don't tell me you don't feel good. And don't tell me you have bed sores. You have not been in bed that long, girl. Pregnant teen, 17, and unborn baby electrocuted to death after she got out of the bath and plugged her phone into the charger. Here we go, guys. Oh my God. Avery. Okay, I have to put that up on the screen. Let me get out of this article right now. There you go. Avery has a pimple on her ass. I know, right? Betty Joe, come up here with me. I need somebody to come up here with me. Did I pin? I don't think I pinned it. Here, if anybody wants to come up. Now she says shut up. Oh, all right, let's see about this girl right here. In Brazil. Y'all know how I am with these names. Jennifer Caroline, 17, and her unborn child died in the tragic incident in Brazil. She was pretty. Look at that belly. Emergency services rushed to the scene after the victim's husband raised the alarm. But when paramedics arrived at their home in the early hours of August 17th, Jennifer was already dead. Her husband, who has not been named, said that his wife was electrocuted after she got out of the bath and tried to put her phone on charge using an extension cord. He mentioned hearing an unusually loud noise and a scream before finding his wife unresponsive on the ground. He reportedly tried to help her, but also received an electric shock. Chief Pedro from the Campina Grande Homicide Police Station said that the case is currently being treated as an accident. However, he said standard procedure dictates that investigative protocol will be initiated, even though there seems little doubt it was anything other than a tragic accident. Did she dry herself off? I don't ever, ever, ever plug in nothing curling iron hair dryer straightener. Nothing without drying myself off. But I can't tell you what she did or what she didn't do. No. No, I know nothing embarrasses you, but it's funny as shit. So I just want everybody that comes in to get a laugh. Why does it say risen? Risen. It was risen. My ex-husband had one, a polynatal cyst or whatever they're called. Like, it's a big old deep surgery. He had it before I met him. I don't know. I plugged in my blow dryer and my straightener not being dried out. Betty Joe, it's a good thing that he wasn't in Brazil. That's crazy. People, you don't need your phone that bad, dude. You don't need your phone that bad. Okay. This is from Phoenix, I guess it says. He left home to get sober and change his life. Why was he found dead in a motel? What happened next?
In the abortion battle, the Arizona State Supreme Court will decide whether or not to reinstate the pre-statehood law from back in 1864. That banned all abortions and mandated prison time.
Talk about, nothing too controversial. Here we go.
Connect with Flex, one-stop
Man.
shop for CTV advertising. Reach consumers across 89%.
Risen. Okay. I've never heard of a boil risen.
New Mexico man found dead in Mesa when he was supposed to be getting treatment for addiction.
Tonight on Fox 10 Investigates, another family impacted by this sober living housing crisis in Arizona. Native Americans and other vulnerable people battling addiction continue to be recruited and brought to the valley.
Fox 10 investigator Justin Lum with more tonight on how loved ones are searching for answers.
The case of 32-year-old Fernando Largo is a sad one. He wanted to get sober and turn his life around. Instead, he died of an overdose.
Hey, that's
and due
Justin.
to the circumstances around
Justin.
his death, his family wants someone held accountable. Miski Sot.
Let me interrupt real quick. In case you don't know, that reporter is Justin Lum. He followed the Lori Chad case from the beginning, because they were here in Arizona and actually in Chandler and Gilbert. Anyway, Rise-In. Still never heard of it. And of course he's gonna follow Lori once she gets here. Hello. But yeah, that's Justin Lum. He's like second to best to Nate Eaton.
Taro Yatsiti has been a longtime advocate for missing members of the Navajo community. And this past year, families have been searching for Native Americans in Arizona, where authorities say indigenous people from New Mexico, Montana, the Dakotas, and Alaska are recruited to get so-called treatment for addiction. The alleged scheme involves signing individuals up for Medicaid benefits, as organizers have already defrauded the state for nearly $1 billion, charging Access, Arizona's Medicaid agency, for therapy services that are rarely provided. In many cases, victims are enticed with alcohol or drugs, kept in shady sober living homes, according to the FBI. Now the state is cracking down with suspensions of payments to more than 200 providers believed to be involved in Medicaid fraud. Miski says she warned her nephew, Fernando Largo, about predators, but he went missing out of Church Rock, New Mexico. And by March 7th, it was too late.
Our minds are just scattered. You took a life from us. You took our relative from us. You had no right to do that. And for us that are advocates, I guarantee you that we are not going to stop looking for our relatives.
Did you have any inkling that he would be found in Arizona?
I did suspect it, and also his mom did too. She suspected that because she did get some mail, and his last location with his phone call was in Arizona.
Mail that Priscilla Largo.
Sorry, I was just so caught up in what this lady was saying that I forgot to press pause.
Received came from Access, Arizona's healthcare cost containment system, and the Department of Economic Security, requesting more information. Fernando's mother does not know if he ended up enrolled in Arizona's Medicaid program. Are you very confident that your son, Fernando, is a victim of the sober living scheme?
Yes, I believe so.
It's unknown who picked Fernando up after he told his mom he wanted to seek help.
And he says, Mom, I love you so much that, I'm really thinking about changing.
But phone calls slowly stopped after he arrived in the Phoenix area.
That's so strange that after him being so happy and all of a sudden I don't get another phone call.
Fox 10 obtained.
That's how it happens, though. I mean, you go get sober, you go to rehab, halfway house, and all it takes is 1 second. 1 second to F up again. And what happens is people who have been sober for even a few days or anything, like people that go to jail, this happens to them a lot. They get out of jail and then they think, let's say they shoot up, then they think they can shoot up the same amount that they were shooting up before they got arrested. And they come out and they shoot up that same amount and then they OD. Like, it's sad.
The police report on Fernando's death from Mesa PD. On March 7th, just after 6 that morning, police responded to the Regency Inn near Main Street and Alma School Road. Just 2 days prior, Priscilla says her son left one last voicemail and sounded like he was under the influence of drugs.
I know there was somebody talking in the back, but I couldn't hear him. It was very low.
The police report says the man who called 911 reported that Fernando overdosed inside room 108. Officers found him lying flat on his back, and medics pronounced him dead at the scene. Mesa PD says the room was rented by a sober living company called Opportunity Changes Communities, located 3 miles away.
Why put him in a motel if this is a legitimate treatment center? It should be a facility, not a motel.
Did they say they legit put him in a motel first? It said that the room was registered to them, but if that's the case, then they're wrong for that. That's their responsibility. Because probably if he wouldn't have been in that motel alone, and he had the RV to freaking use, then I've already been there, y'all, and Avery has been there for me a lot because there's been times for me too recently, and it's hard.
According to the Department of Health Services, Opportunity Changes Communities is licensed as an outpatient treatment center. DHS approved the facility near Country Club and University Drives to provide behavioral health services and adult counseling last December. We reached out to Opportunity Changes Communities regarding Fernando, but were told no comment. The county's medical examiner determined Fernando died due to combined effects of fentanyl, methamphetamine, and alcohol intoxication. The manner.
Why don't I see Kaz? Hold on a second. I don't see Kaz. Why don't I see Kaz? Nelson, are you seeing people I can't see? Lori, she's joking, I think. I'm pretty sure she's joking. I need to rewind this to see what he had in his system.
Listed as accidental. Methamphetamine. The county's medical examiner determined Fernando died due to combined effects of fentanyl, methamphetamine, and alcohol intoxication.
Oh, yeah.
The manner listed as accidental. Mesa police closed the case. How does that make you feel to know that police have closed the case?
I still think this is a criminal case that needs to be investigated more. If he was left with all those drugs in his system and left alone in a very run-down motel room, somebody's at fault for that. Who left him there?
Police say an employee for Opportunity Changes Communities last saw Fernando when she brought him food the night before he was found dead. She told detectives Fernando was staying in the room by himself and appeared to be in good health. But closing the case is not enough for...
That family is going to sue that place. You don't put a drug addict in a motel, a rundown motel room, 30 miles from your location where you are. No, that don't happen. And if he probably would have been wherever your other people are, not in motels, he wouldn't have overdosed. Wow. Wow.
Loved ones.
It doesn't make sense. There's so many questions that we need to have answered.
We reached out to Mesa PD about the case, asking why it's closed. A statement reads in part, quote, after looking at the scene in conjunction with video surveillance as well as the final disposition from OME listing the manner of death as accident, the case was closed because there was no foul play suspected. I'm Justin Lum for Fox 10 Investigates.
Bye, Justin.
If you have a tip for us, email.
Okay, so what do y'all think about that? What do y'all think about what we just heard? Do you think anyone's at fault? Or just the dude because he decided to relapse and OD? Dude, he had fentanyl and meth in his system. That's speedballing right there. And the alcohol, which intensifies it. Oh, yeah. But if nobody put it in his mouth and made him take it, then that's why it's an accident. It's nobody's fault but his own. I just want to know why he's in a motel, like his family said. I want to know the reasoning for why he was where he was. Because obviously he wasn't in a position to be able to stay on his own. Yeah, I don't get it. And I don't like that. And I'm going to have to follow this and what happened because I just don't like this, guys, at all. And then listen to this. Oh, when I read this right here, I was like, holy guacamole. Y'all know I say guacamole a lot, and I cannot stand guacamole. Okay. And if they just would have helped him in the first place, he'd still be alive. Yep. Yep. Betty Jo, do you know that I live an hour away from the border of Mexico? And do you know, I read the other day that Arizona has the most drugs coming across the border from Mexico. This is the first biggest city you get to. Well, it's the first city you get to, really. They have little bitty towns, but after you cross the border, it's shit ton here. A shit ton. And I still choose to stay sober. It's rough and how much times, Zach Avery. But she's always there for me. Like, yeah, I know. I agree with you, but I know. I know. Y'all listen to this. Holy guacamole. Grandmother sentenced for creating a war zone environment in which a 12-year-old boy was beaten to death. Thank you, Lori. How many likes do I have anyhow? A grandmother who subjected a 12-year-old boy to a campaign of abuse is going to prison for the rest of her days. Hold on, how old is she? Because they just said rest of her days, not rest of her life. Patricia Batts, the grandmother of the victim, James Alexander Alex Hurley, 12, was sentenced to life in prison on Tuesday for deliberate homicide. She pleaded guilty in May. His grandma got him beat to death. Prosecutors in Gallatin County, Montana, said she subjected the child to a brutally hostile environment. You said he will be safe, so I trusted you, you know. I trusted you, Trish, Alex's Aunt Joanne Mark said. How could you sit back and watch as well as have such a huge hand in your own grandson's life being tortured and taken at such a young age, another relative said. Hurley's mother, Alicia Davis, declined to publicly read her statement to Batts. I just hope she gets what she gets. Wow. Batts herself spoke at the sentencing. I regret not being the grandmother Alex should have had. Not only did Batts' husband, James Sasser Jr., previously get 100 years in prison for deliberate homicide, but authorities also charged the couple's teenage minor son and daughter, Madison Sasser, who had recently turned 18 when Hurley was found dead at the family home on February 3rd, 2020. The teenage uncle, widely identified in reports as James Sasser III, took a plea deal for deliberate homicide, getting juvenile detention and some adult probation in return. Madison Sasser received probation in exchange for testifying against her parents if it ever came to it. A fifth person, Gage Roush, was charged with striking Hurley with a wooden paddle, for which this defendant received a 5-year deferred sentence. Hey, do you remember when we were talking about Devin Michaels and how she hit the dude with the wooden spoon? I wonder if it was the same kind of wooden paddle that they used on this guy, because they really hurt this guy. Batts reportedly admitted her son killed Hurley by striking him with a wooden paddle, that she facilitated the attack, created the hostile environment in which her son could freely abuse Hurley, and that she did not seek medical care for the child. She told her son to attack the boy. The boy was attacked by his uncle, controlled by the grandmother. Wow. As part of the plea deal, prosecutors dropped the negligent homicide charge against Madison, who pleaded guilty to aggravated kidnapping. She witnessed the parents punch, slap, and kick Hurley, saw the couple put him in chokeholds, and deprive him of love and attention, her attorney Elizabeth Montoya said. This was a family that resorted to and normalized violence, torture, intimidation, and fear in their kids, the lawyer said. She said Madison's life at home was a war zone. Montoya maintained her client was immature for her age and regretted what happened to Hurley. Alex was the enemy, and Madison's parents were the generals, and the other kids in the household were soldiers, the attorney reportedly said. Wow. Bye, Betty Joe. Thanks for coming in. Hit that like button, please. Okay, Hell on Wheels. Let me get that thing off the screen. It's messing up. There we go. Okay. Hell on Wheels. Teen girl given 2 life sentences for 100-mile-per-hour crash. Don't cry now, boo-boo. You shouldn't have done it. I understand that the pain in this room wants me to impose the harshest sentence, Judge Russo began. Mackenzie Shirilla, who was 17 when she drove 100 miles per hour into a brick wall, killing her 2 passengers. She'd been given 2 life sentences to be served concurrently after she was found guilty of multiple counts of murder. The now 19-year-old will serve a minimum of 15 years behind bars, with Judge Nancy Margaret Russo stating she believes the parole board will extend the length of Shrilla's time in prison. The sentencing came Monday afternoon in Cleveland, Ohio, with courtroom cameras capturing the young woman appearing distraught as her crimes and their punishments were read aloud.
Today is the sentencing of the defendant for the purposeful and intentional murders of Davion Flanagan and Dominic Rousseau. And in a way, it's the second time their families are gathered again to grieve. It's also a day when Mackenzie's family will grieve for the future of their daughter. All 3 of these families and the friends of these families are suffering.
Is that face and that emotion because she knows she's about to go to jail for life? Or is it because she really feels bad for what she did and regrets what she did? I don't know.
And all of their lives have been irrevocably changed because of the actions of the defendant. The unintended and collateral consequences of a selfish, intentional, and cruel decision by Mackenzie will ripple forever in time. It's literally changed history because it's ended 2 lives. 2 young men are dead. Their deaths were horrible, terrifying, and tragic. I will say again, if any reasonable person reviews Exhibit 802, there can be no doubt in your mind what happened this.
Avery said that she watched the trial. This girl intentionally hit the brick wall. So I'm wondering if she tried to unalive herself as well. I mean, who in their right mind would slam their car against a brick wall to hurt or even kill 2 other people? What about yourself? Did you not think, well, obviously you didn't die, but you're going to suffer.
There can be no doubt of the absolute terror of the 2 people in that car.
I've been watching Queen. Wait, I don't know who that is. Did she want to die too? Like, was this like a murder-suicide thing going on here?
Defendant controlled all the events. She chose the day. Specifically, she chose a day just before her 18th birthday. She chose to drive the car, the time to drive the car. She chose an obscure, previously scouted route through an industrial parkway. She chose the target to hit and the victims. She chose the...
Look at her lawyer's face. Yay. Hey.
I don't know. Hey,
Hey, how are you
I don't know if
feeling?
like shit. I don't feel good. I don't know if I'm gonna have a good signal or not though. But I watched this trial, and then I've been watching Shanique. Wait, how do you say her name?
You put Quenisha.
Shanisha.
That's how you typed it. I don't know. I don't know. You
Quenisha
typed it Quenisha Johnson.
For Quenisha Johnson, they had closing arguments today, but this girl right here, Mackenzie, they had her sentencing was, I think, Monday or Tuesday. And she was 17 at the time when it happened. She's 19 now.
Mhm.
And her and her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friend were leaving a party, and she was pretty high. She had smoked a lot of marijuana, and her and her boyfriend were arguing, and he was threatening to leave her, or he didn't want to be with her anymore. And they have it on video. She purposely gunned it and went
Wait,
all the
they
way.
have him hitting the wall on camera?
Yes, on camera. She purposely gunned it, and at 100 miles per hour, she slammed their side of the vehicle into the brick wall.
The vehicle.
hmm She almost died. She came
Yeah.
close.
I was going to ask you, what were her injuries?
Well, I don't know all of her injuries, but I know she was in a wheelchair for a while. But here's the thing, is even after they died, she was doing TikTok videos, going to parties, and still doing drugs and drinking and driving and putting it on social media.
Don't that sound like Miss Alexi?
Yeah, so they were saying, that like she had no remorse because of those videos.
Oh, wait.
But
I think I might have found it.
she claims that what?
Huh? The video.
Mackenzie claims that what? Uh-oh.
Go ahead. You're cutting in and out, but I don't know if you can see the screen right now.
Oh, am I cutting out?
I guess you could.
Hello?
You're back now.
Okay. Am I back?
This is the hey.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're back. You're in and you're out, and you're back and you're. Yeah. I'm looking for
it's
the
the internet.
video.
It's the Wi-Fi. I don't know if it's still
Is it
online.
raining?
No. We've just been having Wi-Fi outages. I could go sit in my car and get on my car's Wi-Fi. That's actually a good idea because I could use the air conditioning since I'm sitting outside. But she claims that from the accident that she has
This
no
is
memory.
the vehicle, guys. Huh? I didn't hear you. I guess you cut out again.
Can you hear me? Oh my God.
Yeah. That's the boyfriend? Go get in your car so we can hear you. Oh my gosh, you guys. Isn't that the floor of the car? Holy shit. Okay, while we wait for Avery to hopefully come back, let's finish watching her sentencing. Look at her lawyer, dude. Her lawyer's just like, All right, let's just get this over with, please. I think this is the part Avery was talking about right here. I know. I wanted to show.
Failed suicide attempt is not a defense to murder. And even in a murder-suicide attempt, when the perpetrator executing the plan survives, the other deaths are still murder. There's only one person who's responsible for the pain of everyone in this room, and that person is you, Mackenzie. Nobody else is responsible.
Can y'all hear it? I wanted to play the sound, but I wanted to leave that card up so everyone can see what she did. Could y'all hear it or no? Y'all just only heard the
Or Davion's family, or your family. And I know that each of you have asked your questions to yourselves, what if? What if I had done this or that? The truth of it is, none of us can control the intentions of another. And when there is a purposeful intent to harm or kill someone, it is the perpetrator alone who bears the responsibility for the choice and the consequences and the harm that follows. The difficulty for sentencing today, honestly, is whether or not I believe you should get consecutive sentences. I'm troubled that should I give you a concurrent sentence, that people will believe that somehow I'm being disrespectful to one of the victims. And on the other hand, I have to weigh the punishment. There's a very good likelihood, Mackenzie, that you will spend the rest of your life in prison. That won't be up to me. That will be up to the parole board, and that will be up to you to a great extent.
I thought she was given 2 life sentences, so she's able for parole.
Understand that the pain in this room wants me to impose the harshest sentence. But I don't believe that would be the appropriate sentence, because I do believe that Mackenzie will not be out in 15 years. So she's sentenced on count 2, the murder of Davion Flanagan, 15 years to life. She's sentenced on count 1, the murder of Dominic Russo, 15 years to life, to be served concurrent to each other with credit for time served. I'll waive fines, fees, and costs, and your appellate counsel will be assigned. Are there any questions from the state?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
You're innocent.
To her family, just holler, we know you're innocent. Bro, all she cared about was her going to jail. Whatever. I never heard about this Lucy Letby person. So text messages after she murders a baby. Again. The text messages Lucy Letby sent as she murdered babies. They show how she messaged colleagues after she had killed babies, often informing them of the deaths. In turn, she received sympathy and concern. The texts show how she offered to work extra shifts on the neonatal intensive therapy unit, and as her murders mounted, they also reveal how Letby reacted as the net of suspicion closed in on her. Here are some of the messages she sent. Yeah. Hey, that's my cuz. Yep. Just like the judge said, though, she's going to be in there for at least more than 15 years. I don't think they'll give her parole. Do you think someone like that can be rehabilitated? I mean, if she's a model inmate and does what she's supposed to do and doesn't get in trouble or write-ups or whatever, and I don't know. Won't be before 15 years, though. But she's 19, so she would be like her late 30s, maybe, if they were to let her get on parole in 15 years. That's still a lot of life left. Okay. To protect the identities of the babies and their parents, each baby has been named by a letter. Monday, June 8th, that's Nevaeh's birthday, 2015, baby A dies overnight. The day after murdering baby A, Letby messages colleagues saying she doesn't want to go back into the nursery or see the parents, who also had another twin on the unit, baby B. She attacks baby B sometime before June 11th. She says, "It was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Just a big shock for us all. Hard coming in tonight and seeing the parents." She done killed both them babies. Morning with sweet misery. Baby serial killer Lucy Letby. Guilty of murdering 7 babies. Doctors' warnings ignored as Letby killed more babies. Letby took everything from us, the twins' parent says. Watched a moment as police arrest nurse. We're going to watch that, but let's read her stuff first. She messages one of the nurses to say she has asked to be assigned to work with another baby. September 6, 2015. I just don't know how I'm going to feel seeing parents. Dad was on the floor crying, saying, "Please don't take our baby away," when I took him to the mortuary. It's just heartbreaking. June 11, 2015. 3 days after murdering baby A, she messages a manager of the neonatal unit offering to work more shifts, saying she needs to throw herself back in. November 6, 2015. Oh, it's not November 6th. These damn things are wrong. I don't know why I'm saying it when I said June. June 11th. From a confidence point of view, I need to take an ITU baby soon. Wow. June 13th. 5 days after baby A's murder and the day before she kills baby C, Letby has an irritable exchange with a colleague over her manager's refusal to let her go back to work in intensive care. She says when she worked at Liverpool Women's Hospital, she found she needed to go straight back and care for another baby. Otherwise, the image of the one you lost never goes. The colleague disagrees, telling her to take a break. Colleague: I agree with her. Don't think it will help. You need a break from full on ITU. It sounds very odd, and I would be complete opposite. Let be. Forget I said anything. I'll be fine. It's part of the job. Just don't feel like there's much team spirit tonight. The conversation continues into the evening until 23:09 when Lebby signs off saying sleep well. 6 minutes later, baby C falls critically ill. Lebby had been assigned to a child elsewhere in the unit. That night, she enters the nursery where baby C is and feeds air into his stomach through a nasogastric tube, causing his collapse. Sunday, June 14th. Baby C dies. Lebby has a text conversation with the same colleague she had been speaking to the previous night. Sorry if I was off, just wasn't a great start to shift, but sadly it got worse. I was struggling to accept what happened to baby A. Now we've lost baby C overnight, and it's all a bit much. Hoping you're going to be okay. This isn't like you. Sending you biggest hugs. I just keep seeing them both. No one should have to see and do the things we do. It's heartbreaking, but it's not about me. We learn to deal with it. Thank you. Sunday, June 21st, 2015, baby D dies. The morning after murdering baby D, Lebby sends a message to a colleague. Lebby, we lost baby D. Colleague, what? But she was improving. What happened? Colleague, want to chat? I can't believe you were on again. You're having such a tough time. The conversation continues later. On a day-to-day basis, it's an incredible job with so many positives. But then sometimes I think, how do such sick babies get through and others just die so suddenly and unexpectedly? Guess it's how it's meant to be. I think there's an element of fate involved. There's a reason for everything. Lebby tells another colleague what I've seen really hit me, but she brushes off the suggestion that she should see a counselor. Lebby, I can't talk about it now. I can't stop crying. I just need to get it out of my system. June 30th. One of the other nurses messages Lebby, saying it is odd that 4 babies have become dangerously unwell within a short period of time. The nurse, there's something odd about that night and the other 3 that went so suddenly. Lebby, well, baby C was tiny, obviously compromised in utero. Baby D septic. It's baby A I can't get out of my head. Did baby B die? Didn't the other twin die? Tuesday, August 4th. That's my mom. Dang. They got Nevaeh's birthday and mom's birthday. Baby E dies in the early hours. Oh, Jesus. That morning, one of the nurses asks how Lebby is and if she had been working with baby E as well as his twin brother, baby F. Oh, Jesus, please take the wheel. This is not okay. This woman is not okay. Lebby, news travels fast. Who told you? Lebby, yeah, I had them both. Was horrible. Nurse, I just really feel for his parents, but for you too. You've had some really tough times recently. That night, before going back on shift, Lebby exchanges texts with a colleague who commiserates, saying, you seem to be having some very bad luck. Lebby, not a lot I can do really. He had massive hemorrhage, could have happened to any baby. And then August 5th, the next day, guess what? His twin, baby F, falls critically ill. This is sad, dude. I just want 1 second in a room with this woman. Just 1 second. Not a minute, not 5, a second. 4 days after attempting to kill baby F, Lebby messages a colleague. I said goodbye to baby F's parents as baby F might go tomorrow. They both cried and hugged me, saying they will never be able to thank me for the love and care I gave to baby F. for the precious memories I've given them. It's heartbreaking. The nurse. It is heartbreaking, but you've done your job to the highest standard with compassion and professionalism. Ledby. I just feel sad that they are thanking me when they have lost him and for something that any of us would have done. But it's really nice to know that I got it right for them. That's all I want. This woman is seriously, dude. I just feel sad that they are thanking me when they have lost him and for something that any of us would have done. No, any of you would not have hurt their baby. September 26th, 5 days after attempting to kill baby G, Ledby receives a supportive text from a manager in the unit, and her reply suggests she had been the subject of criticism or suspicion. That's really nice to hear, as I gather you are aware of some of the not-so-positive comments that have been made recently regarding my role, which I have found quite upsetting. Our job is a pleasure to do, and just hope I do the best for the babies and their family. The next day, she messages one of the other nurses. She says, "It's all just so rubbish lately, isn't it? And it always seems to happen at night when less people. This is what we do, as sad and as hard as it can be." October 13th, baby I falls critically ill. The next morning, Ledby texts a colleague who was taking over, saying baby I deteriorated a lot this morning and had to be resuscitated. In the afternoon, she messages the nurse who is acting as shift leader to ask if baby I will be transferred. Ledby: "I'd like to keep her, please." The shift leader agrees, but a little over an hour later, she messages to say she had to reallocate. Ledby asks if something happened. Shift leader: "No, was just asked to reallocate so no one has her for more than one night at a time." Baby I died the following week when Ledby was again on an overnight shift. She has been found guilty of her murder. Over the next few months, more babies fall ill. In text messages, she complains about understaffing and volunteers for extra shifts, including the shifts where she attempts to murder twins, baby L and baby M. That's 3 sets of twins. In early June 2016, Ledby connects to Facebook Messenger with a doctor at the hospital. Their messages show a close relationship. Later that month, she murders baby O and baby P. June 24th, 2016. So this has been going on for a year already. Baby P dies. Ledby murders baby O on Thursday, 23rd of June. She kills her brother, baby P, the following day. A day later, she asked the doctor she had been messaging for reassurance after one of the consultant pediatricians, Dr. John Gibbs, had been asking questions following another baby's collapse in resuscitation. Ledby: "Do I need to be worried about what Dr. Gibbs was asking?" The doctor: "No." The doctor: "He was asking to make sure that normal procedures were being carried out." The conversation continues. "We've lost 2 babies I was caring for, and now this happened today. Makes you think, am I missing something good enough? If anybody says anything to you about not being good enough or performing adequately, I want you to promise me that you'll give me details to provide a statement. Well, I sincerely hope I won't ever be needing a statement, but thank you, I promise." The doctor offers further reassurance. Doctor: "You are one of a few nurses across the region, I've worked pretty much everywhere, that I would trust with my own children." Poor doctor, what do you think now? July 6th. The doctor messages Ledby giving her details of a meeting which reviewed the deaths of baby O and baby P, saying, "You need to keep this to yourself." Doctor: "There's absolutely nothing for you to worry about. Please don't. There are going to be some recommendations based on staffing kit, but there was no criticism of either resus. He also shares an email from neonatal lead consultant Dr. Steve Brewery, which mentions the death of baby O and baby P will go to an inquest. The next day he adds, I know you won't say anything. This email has to stay between us. Is that okay? Of course, Ledby replies 100%. July 15th. All staff are emailed to say they will have to undergo a period of clinical supervision in preparation for an external review. Staff are told that Ledby has agreed to go first. The next day, she texts a colleague to say she has done a timeline of the year to analyze her cases. She says some were seriously ill when she took over, and some went off within hours on handover. Hoping to get as much info together as possible. If they have nothing or minimal on me, they'll look silly, not me. If you're innocent, what do you have to get together? Ma'am, please tell me. Bacon and eggs on toast. Now you're going to make me want an egg sandwich. But I don't want to eat. Ledby was first arrested 2 years later in July 2018. It took another 5 years for her to be found guilty of murdering 7 babies and attempting to murder another 6. At the end of her 10-month trial, wow. Avery, you want to watch that trial? That's almost a whole year. Wow. Well, let's see. 7 babies she murdered and 6 attempted murder. Yeah, okay. Okay. At the end of her 10-month trial, the jury found her not guilty of 2 further charges of attempted murder and was unable to return verdicts on 6 further charges, also of attempted murder. She is the most prolific child murderer in the UK in modern times. Let me look at this lady again. I know they have her picture, right? No, they don't. They just have, wait, maybe. No, just that picture. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, Miss Lucy Letby. All them babies you killed, I couldn't have one. And here we go again, you guys. I'm just playing this because the police warn people that the killer of Rachel Warren will likely strike again, being on the run. And then here's the video, of course, again. To me, it doesn't look like he was being kicked out. It doesn't look like he was being forcibly put out. It doesn't look like that person on the door with the small hand, I don't know if it was male or female, was concerned in any way. Oh, she gonna catch it in prison. Trust you me. She gonna catch it in prison for her not in babies. Believe it. Yeah, well, to me, that I don't know how y'all think about it, but I'd put a huge dent in her face. So many people can't have babies. So many of us hurt because we can't have babies. And this woman 15 babies, 6 murdered. Maryland law enforcement officials are worried that the suspect on the run in the Rachel Morin murder case could do something harmful to someone else. Hartford County Sheriff Jeff Galler said the accused has no regard for the sanctity of human life, and his identification remains a top priority for the police. This individual poses a threat to every community from here to Los Angeles because we don't know where he's laying his head at night. Morin, 37, the mother of 5, had left her home in Bel Air, Maryland at around 6 p.m. on August 5th and headed to a popular hiking trail just outside of town. When the mother of 5 failed to return that night, her boyfriend, Richard Tobin, called the police at about 11 p.m. to report her missing. The next day, her car and later her body were found at the Williams Street entrance to the Ma and Pa Trail. A manhunt is underway to identify the suspect, and the only breakthrough the police have reached in the case is the DNA of the suspect from the crime scene, which was linked to a March 24 home invasion and assault of a young girl on the West Coast. The only thing I think that we can hope and pray for at this time is for him to commit a crime other than murder, that they would take his DNA. Would they take his DNA for anything other than murder? Or, I mean, I just don't want him to hurt somebody, but I want his DNA to be in the system so that we can catch this dude. Mr. Galler said they are working with the FBI to identify the man and believes that he would continue to commit acts of violence. This person has an absolute disregard for the sanctity of human life, and until he's arrested, there is a threat he'll do something harmful to someone else. I just don't believe you do 2 things that are so serious in nature and that's your starting point. Most likely you've been involved in other crimes, he says. The police have denied any indication of involvement of Morin's boyfriend, Mr. Tobin, who has also denied any wrongdoing after he came under intense speculation early in the case. At this point, there's no indication that he was involved. But until we know who this guy is or whether he acted alone, the entire world is a suspect. Police have raised concerns a day after officials released video images of a shirtless man believed to be linked to the murder. The video showed a man exiting a residence in Los Angeles following a break-in and assault on a young girl whose identity remains disclosed. Please tell me this looks like a freaking break-in and entering an assault. Please tell me. Again, watch how the door closes. I mean, it might be with a little force, but dang, she might just, you know what I mean? Like sometimes I don't close it with the knob. I just like sling it closed, you know? I don't know. This crap is crazy. But, all right, so we know that I went live earlier. You guys, the body found in North Carolina was confirmed to be that of Alicia Watts. And her boyfriend, James Dunmore, has been arrested for murder. I made a video, but it still hasn't processed on my phone yet, so I can't upload it to YouTube yet. Let's see if I can find something to show you guys. Alicia Watts. You know what's the craziest shit about this? Is that she was in the woods behind the cemetery, and it was on a road called Cemetery Road. All right, come on.
been 11 days since Alicia Watts vanished.
It was this time last night we showed you police searching her boyfriend's house in University City. That's the place she was last seen. Channel 9's Jonathan Lowe joins us live in studio. And Jonathan, friends say
posted to Twitter yesterday, they are in contact with immediate family about the search for Alicia Watts. Family and friends, though, they say that's why they turn to the media. They are asking for help in bringing more attention to the search for her.
As media coverage of the disappearance of Alicia Watts has gone into overdrive this week, many of the people pushing for efforts to find her have been
Genevieve, as you and I have been following every development in this case, you know that family has led the charge for answers in Alicia's disappearance. It was her cousin who first reported her missing. That cousin saw Alicia leave this home here behind me, the home of James Dunmore, last month. Well, today, that cousin saw Dunmore taken into custody for Alicia's murder.
I knew right away.
Gwen Utley lives very close to James Dunmore, the man now charged.
Remember, this is the cousin that called 911, the one that's talking right now. And she's the one that lives by the boyfriend, and she recorded a video on her phone of him getting arrested.
With murdering her cousin, Alicia Watts. Gwen says she took out her
There it is right there.
cell phone as soon as she saw activity outside his home today.
They were kind of scattering around at first, you know, I guess figuring out which way to go.
Video she captured appears to show Dunmore in custody, standing in his driveway, hands behind his back, with investigators in tactical gear at his side.
Like I said, it was a relief, you know, that they finally connected with James Dunmore.
We've learned from multiple family members. Investigators met with them this morning to give the update on finding Alicia and charging Dunmore.
Yes, it's confirmed, Alicia. Yes.
Before the news became public.
We already processed the fact that she may not have been alive because it's been so long, but we wasn't sure.
Hope.
Yeah.
God has the last say.
Utley says Alicia used to visit her in Charlotte twice a month at least. The two were close, like sisters. It's why she says she knew immediately she needed to report Alicia missing over a month ago.
I knew right away that something was going on. I don't know, even if I didn't move the way people wanted me to, or, you know, or I didn't give out as much information as they wanted me to.
She, like all of Alicia's family, still processing the news. Alicia is gone.
Upset,
Lost
hurt,
for words,
lost
devastated.
for words. But at the same time, our family needed some kind of closure.
Yeah.
We, you know, everybody deserves closure.
That was the one thing that I was working on.
Now, a couple of weeks ago, we saw CMPD detectives here in front of James Dunmore's home and inside conducting a couple of searches. We were here when those happened. It is not clear, though, if investigators found any.
I heard, well, Avery, I think you were here. Kaz, it might have been too early for you. I heard, you guys, that they found shell casings in his front yard. Now, whether or not it has to do with Alicia, I don't know. But that's just what the live that I did earlier today, it says it in that one.
Thing at this home that connected him to the location where Alicia's body was found. We're live in University City tonight. Jonathan Lowe, Channel 9, Eyewitness News.
Yeah, Jonathan, one thing, though, for sure, Alicia's loved by her family and the entire community. Thank you. We have been covering the disappearance of Alicia Watts extensively for weeks now. You can find all of our past coverage.
Well, Avery, you asked to keep you updated. So I did do a video. It's not done processing yet, and then I have to upload it to YouTube. So the live came before the video was done. But yeah, so I'm gonna go, you guys. I wasn't expecting to be live this long. I need somebody to force me to call the doctor because I keep forgetting. I need to see I need to see the gastroenterologist because it's to the point where I'm nauseated 24/7, and I can't take Zofran 24/7. So, y'all have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. We'll find something to talk about tomorrow. Maybe we'll have information on James Dunmore. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe he did that. I can believe because of his background. All right, you guys, have a good night, and I will see you Thank you, Kaz. Email me tomorrow. You have to email me when I'm supposed to do it. You can't tell me now. I will forget. All right, everybody say prayers for Avery to feel better and test negative very, very soon. And you guys have a good night.